I bought this industrial warehouse for $800,000 down. 4 years later, my profit was $1.5 million. Let me show you exactly how I did it. Industrial commercial real estate is one of the hottest asset classes, and when done right, the returns can be lucrative. In this video, I'll show you how I found the deal, my capital stack, how I managed the property, and ultimately how we exited, plus what you can learn for your own investments. My name is Ron Rohde. I'm a commercial real estate attorney in Dallas. I spent the last 15 years of my career helping real estate investors make money in commercial real estate. So eventually, when I represented people and they bought property, I helped them manage it, and then I saw them exit for staggering amounts, I decided, hey, I'm just as dumb as they are. I can do it myself. And so I've always been a real estate investor, traditionally in the SFR space. So that's single family residential, think about your homes, and just renting them out on an annual basis. I started buying 1 or 2 a year until I was adding a pretty large portfolio. And ultimately I was up to 6 properties. And even with property management, the time required was very intense. You're constantly making decisions. And I think sometimes that's a misconception about property management. They think that if they hire a property manager, they're not going to have to pay attention to these properties. That couldn't be further from the truth. The role of a property manager is to handle maybe some emergency decision making, but primarily they aggregate problems and they present them to you to decide. Price renewals. The tenant wants a discount and you've countered with a $500 a year increase. The property manager isn't going to decide. They're going to give that question to you, and you as the owner then have to decide. Let's say there's a roof repair. The roof is leaking. They may collect some bids from you and they may assess the problem, but you're going to have to decide, do we do a full tear off? Do we do a partial repair? Do we try to file an insurance claim? Those are not easy questions to answer, and the property manager doesn't necessarily help by making those for you. All they're going to do is aggregate and present the question. So when you have a small portfolio, you're constantly faced with renewal questions, tenant problems, repairs, city, debt coming due, lots of issues. So anyway, I decided that I wanted to get out of residential. I sold everything and I pivoted into commercial. Now, within commercial, I realized that the best investors specialize in only one asset class. You have to be an expert and you have to be really good at just one asset class to the exclusion of everything else. So I was looking at retail, I looked at hotel, I looked at office, I looked at multifamily and industrial. Ultimately, I chose industrial for long leases, triple net lease structure, as well as probably having the tenants with the lowest maintenance need. They're the lowest touch of tenants just because of the type of use that they are. They're not going to require picture perfect everything at all times. So I started by investing in one of my friend's industrial projects, and after that turned out pretty good, I decided in 2021 to buy my own property with me as the lead GP. So this is the story of how that happened. This property is located in Plano. It's a suburb of Dallas, DFW here. And initially, a friend of mine had it under contract and he wasn't really wanting to close. So he was considered a wholesaler and he sold it to me and I paid him a fee for that privilege. At the time, interest rates were fairly low and cap rates were also correspondingly low. However, the reason that I liked this property was the location. You can't recreate location, and this had proximity to freeways. It was close to population centers, which is a key driver for industrial outdoor storage. One of the challenges during underwriting is that a large part of the income is attributed to the yard space. This is the storage gravel in the back. Now, even before industrial outdoor storage was a thing, banks and other exit investors had a harder time attributing income to this type of yard space because historically you didn't necessarily charge for storage. That was just a bonus. You would price an asset based on the price per square foot of the building. And that's what rents were based off, that's what sale prices were based off, and ultimately that's what people valued in industrial was square foot. And so there's a little bit of a disconnect there that we had to overcome, a little bit of property and environmental issues, but those were resolved prior to closing. I didn't have $800,000 by myself to invest in a single property, and so I created a structure with some partners. So there's 3 partners and we all contributed equally as joint venture or maybe direct members in an LLC. Our investment thesis was simple. Hold this property, collect rents, coupon clip, and get through the first term and either renew this tenant and refinance, or possibly sell the property. Based on our expected returns, we had an exit price. Our models predicted that if we hit this exit price after 5 years, we would hit the return metrics that we were happy with prior to the investment. CapEx. In our investment thesis, this was a single tenant net lease property. There was not a lot of CapEx that needed to be done. We did spend about $30,000 on fencing and gate replacement. Upon exit, we sold for our 5-year pro forma exit, which amounted to about a $2.3 million return to all the investors. I did not take any promote, there was no GP, I just took a disposition fee. And of course I was pari passu, which means I was taking a pro rata share of the profit based on my capital contribution. Challenges. So one of the challenges that we had with this property was zoning and working with the city. As you know, in industrial, zoning is critical, and this property was no different. So I think that working with the city ahead of time when you're under contract on a specific property and really understanding what type of users can come in the future will really put you down a path to understanding the value of a parcel. That's something that we had to work through, and it did cause some issues on the exit sale that we did have to go back to the city and really understand what the zoning ordinances meant. In addition, this property was never listed. I never went on market with this solely because this was prior to our plan of our investment thesis. But I've always been getting offers, and I was actually under contract about a year ago to a different group. They loved the property, they came in with a very strong price, and we did a lot of work to try to get them comfortable with the property. And the return selling a year later is, it's a higher net to seller, but in terms of IRR, it is actually about the same. And so maybe it would have been good if that other deal went through, but it is what it is. And I learned a lot from that initial sale process because I got to go through the entire due diligence with a sophisticated buyer. And now on the most recent exit, again, it was a sophisticated buyer. And so we were prepared because we had done this exercise about a year prior. Finally, the exit. What made this the right time to sell? I really live by the mantra, you can never go broke booking a profit. And for me, this hit our pro forma modeled returns, and once we hit that, it is ready to sell. I think that being off market, you're going to get offers. We had to pay our broker to assemble these, but in the big picture, there's nothing wrong with booking a profit, and now your capital is reloaded and just looking for the next opportunity. If you're thinking about investing in industrial or other commercial real estate, drop us a link down below or reach out to the law firm and we'd be glad to help you.